In this video, we will look at various joints, starting with spring joint. Simply attach this joint to a body, then displace the body to start the motion, which is simple harmonic motion in this case, if damping coefficient is 0. Now click on the spring, and look at the properties table on the left. You can change its name, or color, let's say to yellow, or size, let's say to 2, or turn visibility on or off. You can also change the natural length, or spring constant, or damping coefficient. Now let's connect the spring to 2 blocks. Notice that the 2 blocks are colliding with each other. Suppose you don't want them to collide, then you simply have to uncheck this checkbox. This joint is essentially a pendulum and similar to spring joint. We can attach it on any object, and of course change its name, color, size, etc. Keep in mind that the least value of damping ratio is 0.1, therefore, there will always be some damping for this joint. Also, keep the frequency number as 0, or a very high number to make a rigid joint, and keep it low, say 1 or 2, to have a bounciness in the joint. Revolute joint is essentially a hinge or a peg which can be attached similar to other joints. Certain parameters are also the same as the others. But you can see 3 new parameters, which makes this joint extremely essential and useful. Input a number, say 100, for motor speed, and that gives a constant angular velocity to the body. Negative value will give opposite rotation. In case you want to restrict the rotation of the body, you can do so by specifying a range of rotational angle. This joint is essential to create a pulley system. First, set up the blocks and the rings for the desired system. Then select the pulley joint tool and attach everything. Note, when you attach this joint at the edge of the pulley, keep the cursor over the pulley. If you don't, then the joint will not connect the bodies. This joint can be used as a pendulum, but unlike distance joint, it can slack. Rest of the settings are familiar and self-explanatory. This joint is a combination of distance and revolute joint, created to be used as wheels for a cart or any vehicle. Simply attach the first end to the vehicle and then the other end to the wheel. You will notice the bounciness in the car due to this joint. Rest of the settings are also familiar and self-explanatory. The purpose of prismatic joint is to restrict the motion of a body in a particular direction. Simply attach the joint to a body and then attach a spring joint also. You'll notice the oscillations in only Y direction. All the settings are familiar. Note, motor in this case will push the body away. Also, range of translation can be fixed from these settings. This joint, as suggested by name, will simply weld the bodies, and can be used in many different ways. Try and experiment with these joints to get a better understanding of their application.